1 million strong. The cattle industry has seen a dramatic transformation over the past few decades. The rise of large-scale cattle farming is reshaping the agricultural landscape. The American landscape is changing, with vast expanses of land now dedicated to raising cattle on an unprecedented scale. Large-scale cattle farms are becoming more common, dotting the countryside with their sprawling operations. These operations, housing thousands of cattle, are transforming how we produce beef, making it more efficient and scalable. This shift is driven by economics and the need to feed a growing population, which demands more protein sources. Large farms can produce more beef with fewer resources, utilizing advanced technologies and streamlined processes. This makes them essential to meeting the world's protein needs, providing a steady supply of beef to markets globally. The rise of large-scale farms is not without its critics. Concerns about the ethical treatment of animals and the environmental footprint of these operations are growing. Concerns about animal welfare, environmental impact, and the livelihoods of small farmers are valid and need to be addressed. The balance between efficiency and ethics is delicate. However, it's important to remember that large-scale farms are not inherently bad. With proper management, they can operate humanely and sustainably. With responsible management and a commitment to sustainability, they can be a force for good, contributing positively to the economy and food security. The key is finding a balance. We must ensure that the practices employed are both economically viable and environmentally sound. We need to produce enough beef to feed the world, but we must do so in a way that does not compromise our planet's health. But we also need to protect our environment and ensure the well-being of animals. Sustainable practices can help achieve this balance. This is the challenge facing the cattle industry today. How do we meet the growing demand for beef while maintaining ethical and sustainable practices? Large-scale cattle farming is here to stay. Its presence is a testament to the evolving nature of agriculture. It's up to us to ensure it's done responsibly and sustainably. The future of our food system depends on the choices we make today. The choices we make today will determine the future of beef production. By prioritizing sustainability and ethical practices, we can create a better future for all. Beefing up the economic impacts of large herds. Large-scale cattle farming plays a significant role in the United States economy. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, providing jobs and supporting rural communities. From ranchers and farm workers to veterinarians and truck drivers, the cattle industry employs millions of Americans. These operations also generate significant tax revenue for local and state governments. This revenue funds essential services like schools, roads, and hospitals. The economic impact of large-scale cattle farming extends beyond rural areas. Meatpacking plants and processing facilities create jobs in urban centers. The industry also supports a vast network of suppliers and distributors. From feed manufacturers to trucking companies, the cattle industry ripples throughout the economy. Large-scale cattle farming is a vital part of the American economy. It provides jobs, generates revenue, and supports communities across the country. As the demand for beef continues to grow, so too will the economic impact of this important industry. Green pastures. Sustainable practices in cattle farming. Large-scale cattle farming often receives criticism for its environmental impact. However, many farms are adopting sustainable practices to minimize their footprint. These practices include rotational grazing, cover cropping, and water conservation. Rotational grazing involves moving cattle between pastures to prevent overgrazing. This helps to improve soil health, reduce erosion, and promote biodiversity. Cover cropping involves planting non-cash crops in between grazing periods. These cover crops help to improve soil fertility, prevent erosion, and sequester carbon from the atmosphere. Water conservation is another important aspect of sustainable cattle farming. Farms are implementing technologies and practices to reduce water usage and protect water quality. These practices show that large-scale cattle farming can be environmentally responsible. By adopting sustainable practices, farms can minimize their impact and contribute to a healthier planet. Section 4. Innovation on the ranch technology and cattle farming's future. Technology is transforming the cattle industry, driving efficiency and sustainability. Precision agriculture is one area where technology is making a big impact. This involves using sensors, GPS, and data analytics to optimize farming practices. For example, farmers can use sensors to monitor soil moisture levels and irrigation needs. This helps to conserve water and improve crop yields. GPS technology is used to track cattle movements and grazing patterns. This data can be used to optimize grazing rotations and improve herd health. Data analytics is being used to track cattle health, identify potential diseases, and improve breeding programs. These technologies are helping farmers to produce more beef with fewer resources. Technology is also playing a role in reducing the environmental impact of cattle farming. For example, methane digesters are being used to capture methane emissions from manure. This methane can then be used to generate electricity or heat. Section 5, American Cattle Kings, Success Stories from the Pasture. In this segment, we delve into the remarkable achievements of some of the most successful cattle operations in the United States. Across the U.S., large-scale cattle farms are showcasing the future of beef production. These farms are not just about size, they are about innovation, efficiency, and sustainability. These operations are not only successful businesses but also leaders in sustainability and animal welfare. They set the standard for how cattle farming can be done responsibly and profitably. One such example is the King Ranch in Texas. Known for its vast size and rich history, King Ranch is a beacon of success in the cattle industry. Spanning over 825,000 acres, King Ranch is one of the largest ranches in the world. Its sheer size is impressive, but what truly sets it apart is its commitment to innovation and sustainability. They have a long history of innovation in cattle breeding and land management. From pioneering new breeding techniques to implementing advanced land management practices, King Ranch has always been at the forefront of the industry. The ranch is committed to sustainable practices including rotational grazing and water conservation. These methods not only protect the environment but also ensure the long-term viability of their operations. Another example is Cactus Feeders in Texas. This family-owned business has grown to become one of the largest cattle feeders in the U.S., thanks to their innovative approach and dedication to excellence. This family-owned business is one of the largest cattle feeders in the U.S. Their success is a testament to the power of combining traditional values with modern technology. Cactus Feeders has implemented innovative technologies to improve animal welfare and reduce their environmental impact. Their use of technology is not just about efficiency, it's about creating a better future for the industry. They use data analytics to track cattle health and optimize feeding programs. This data-driven approach allows them to make informed decisions that benefit both the animals and the business. They have also implemented water conservation measures and use renewable energy sources. These efforts demonstrate their commitment to sustainability and responsible farming. These successful operations demonstrate that large-scale cattle farming can be both profitable and sustainable. By embracing innovation and sustainability, they are paving the way for the future of the industry. Section 6, Challenges on the Horizon, Navigating the Future of Cattle. As we look ahead, the cattle industry stands at a crossroads, facing numerous challenges that will shape its future. Despite the advances in technology and sustainability, the cattle industry faces several challenges. These advancements have brought about significant improvements, but they also come with their own set of hurdles. One of the biggest challenges is the rising cost of production. This includes not just the direct costs, but also the indirect expenses that can add up over time. The price of feed, land, and labor continues to increase, putting pressure on profit margins. Farmers are finding it increasingly difficult to balance these costs while maintaining a sustainable operation. Another challenge is the increasing demand for transparency and traceability in the food supply chain. Consumers are more informed and concerned about the origins of their food than ever before. Consumers want to know where their food comes from and how it was produced. This demand for transparency is pushing the industry to adopt new practices and technologies. The industry needs to find ways to meet this demand for transparency. Implementing robust traceability systems can help build consumer trust and ensure food safety. Climate change is another significant challenge facing the cattle industry. The effects of climate change are becoming more pronounced, affecting every aspect of cattle farming. Droughts, floods, and extreme weather events can disrupt production and impact cattle health. These events can lead to significant losses and require adaptive strategies. The industry needs to adapt to the impacts of climate change and develop more resilient farming practices. This includes investing in sustainable practices that can withstand environmental changes. Finally, the cattle industry faces increasing scrutiny from animal welfare groups. These groups are advocating for better living conditions and treatment of cattle. Consumers are becoming more aware of the conditions in which animals are raised. This awareness is driving demand for higher animal welfare standards. The industry needs to continue to improve animal welfare standards and address public concerns. By doing so, it can ensure a more sustainable and ethical future for cattle farming.